Hey, it's me, your boyfriend slash girlfriend slash stay friend's favorite content creator, and we are going to talk a little bit about Dragon Age, the Veilguard, because that game is coming out very soon. As it's recording, it's going to be out in 2 days, and sorry, 3 days. It comes out 31st. But regardless, it feels like I've been talking about this game for a long time, mostly because I guess in the roundabout way I have been, because you see, a lot of fucking losers online. Let's be real, they are losers, have been wanting this and many games to fail. Now, like broad spectrum, this is of course about the stupid culture war, but kind of specifically talking about like how these losers are obsessed with Japanese developed or Eastern developed games and think every single Western developed game in all of history throughout the entire time is terrible and bad. They've done the same thing for Spider-Man. They flipped on Spider-Man 2. They did the same thing for all like the Fallouts. They've done the same thing. They'll do the same thing for everything. Anytime a game comes out from a non-Eastern developer, they will hate on it. And if it comes from Eastern developer, they will glaze it. They were talking about Stellar Blade and Black Myth Wukong being Game of the Year. Games of the Year. The only exception is Atlas, because for some reason they think Sega is now woke and Atlas games are just now being political and socially aware and got infected by the woke mind virus. So they don't count as Eastern because in their minds, Japan, any place in Asia, they don't deal with politics. They don't deal with social strife. They don't deal with any issues. It's a perfect fantasy land. I'm using that to preface this when I say like the way they're coming after Dragon Age is idiotic. It's so fucking stupid. Like you could be wary of BioWare. And that's valid because BioWare for a long time has been on the decline, right? They came out with bangers. Obviously the Mass Effect series was super fucking popular. I love the Mass Effect series. And then Andromeda came out. Andromeda did not do well. And then, oh my God, Anthem came out. And we all know what happened with Anthem. So having hesitancy towards the newest BioWare game, Dragon Age, at that point was called Dreadwolf, was valid. But as more and more information's come out and more people got their hands on, the previews were looking pretty good. And anyone with eyeballs could tell, and who knows how, like anything about gaming and the gaming industry and gaming trends, could tell that this game was obviously going to be good. I myself, in many videos, have stated this is obviously going to be a good game. Clearly, has all the hallmarks of being a good game. And yet, these grifters are so committed to the grift that they will gaslight you. They will have people who've never played the game or who've played the game for 2 hours making these reviews talking about, oh, they're focusing so much on LGBTQ and too many on lesbian characters and race swapped characters. Yeah, dude, race swapped characters in the original fantasy game, race swapped characters in the original. They're just saying shit. They're making shit up, but they have to because that's their whole career. It's just making shit up to be mad about. So we're going to talk about two particular points about this whole Dragon Age nonsense stuff. First one starting with the actual reviews, or rather who's been allowed to review it and who's not been allowed to review it. Because there has been, I guess, a couple of content creators who have not gotten codes for this. And instead of just being like, okay, I didn't get one and just buying the game, they're trying to make it seem like there is a active vendetta against them and other creators who were critical of past BioWare games. And now like EA's like, we only want good coverage, so we're not going to give it to you. And I just have to say, that's bullshit, right? Like Jason Schreier got an advanced copy. A ton of review outlets got an advanced copy. The problem is now you have these content creators who think themselves to be such massive importance that if they don't get it, it must mean something went wrong. And not that like they aren't that important. Sorry. Like, unless you have like millions of subscribers or you are like a hardcore BioWare person where a lot of BioWare fans will watch you, you're not going to matter. You're an influencer. This would be akin to like me saying, man, you guys, I didn't get a Monster Hunter, or I didn't get the new Expedition 33. I didn't get any review codes for that. And you know what that means? They just don't like me because I am critical. It's like, or they don't know who the fuck I am. Which one seems more realistic? And again, these are accounts that are bigger than mine, sure. But again, grand scheme of things, doesn't really matter. But what does matter is now they're trying to take this and be like, you see, that means the game's not good, because they don't want to have anyone who's critical reviewing the game. Even so much as to go so far as like places like Fextra Life, which but even now they're trying to get in on that and saying, well, they're not reviewing because EA didn't give them review copies. And I'm like, hey, Fextra Life, weren't you guys the ones who were like artificially pumping up your numbers on Twitch by using like a web view window or whatever to make it seem like you guys were getting like hundreds and thousands of views for your videos and your Twitch streams? But I look at your channel now and you're not really getting nearly as much. For a channel with like over 1 million subscribers, your your watch to subscriber ratio is not that good. Like, only a couple of videos of you guys have gotten like 200,000 and you have over 1 million. Like, maybe that's why. Maybe the fact that you guys aren't really impactful in terms of like game reviews, in terms of like people coming to your place, in terms of like being in the space. Like, I don't think you're as relevant as, say, like someone like Skill Up, or even like Game Ranks, or, you know, even like Game Rant. Like, they have to go to places where the people are. Again, myself included. BioWare would never give me advanced copy of anything. Who am I? Who comes here? Not many people in comparison to where they can go to where the big fish go, right? So it's strange to me that we've no longer gotten this perspective, and it's now just, I didn't get one, therefore it's a problem, and they don't want people who are critical of their stuff, because they also sent it to reviewers whose job is it to be critical of their stuff. And speaking of reviewers, I was on Twitter and I just saw these accounts that were going over like the aggregate scores of stuff, and the comment section, you guys, so many people are coping. So many people are coping and seething, just to an insane amount. Oh, well, a 10 out of 10, there's no way it's just 10 out of 10. You can't convince me it's just 10 out of 10. It's like, okay, all right, dude. Like, I get so confused by these people because I thought the whole thing was you guys do not give a shit about what reviewers say. You only give a shit about YouTubers who are reviewers also, but not like paid reviewers. But I find it interesting that when the game that was obviously going to have good review scores has good review scores, it's either these aren't good enough scores, because I think right now it's sitting at like a 80, between like, it's a wide margin, sorry, but between like 80 to 88 because new reviews are coming in, which is good. When you're on Metacritic and the shit's green, your game's good. You guys like Black Myth Wukong, that's a green game, right? It's in its 80s. Stellar Blades in the 80s, right? These games are really good games. They're just slightly better games out right now. But there are people trying to be like, well, it's only in the 80s, that's not good. It's like, that is good. That is literally objectively good by their metric. Out of 100 possible points, you got 80%, at least in America, that's a B, that's good. You pass grades, or you pass classes with 80s. You'd be a good student if you had all B's, but that's either not high enough or it's some sort of secret plot. And it's like, oh, that's because all of the paid shield reviewers are going first. And then when the real reviews come on, I saw someone say, wait till releases on Steam. What the fuck do you think a Steam review is going to? I'm sorry. No one uses Steam reviews. No one uses Steam reviews as like, this game's good, this game's bad, because Steam reviews, even more so than like Metacritic, can be manipulated to hell. Review bombing on Steam's a thing. Helldivers 2 came out earlier this year, which seems like a lifetime ago at this point, and it was doing amazing. It was mostly all positive. And then they had that update where you had to be signed into PlayStation Network to use it. And then all that mostly positive or overwhelmingly positive became mostly negative within a week's time. Because people went and just started downvoting that, giving it bad reviews. Because you can just do that. So it's not a good metric. Whether it's mostly positive, mostly negative, it's not the best metric to use. So it's weird to try to institute Steam as like the end all be all. But also, by the same metric, right? It was like, last time I checked, it was like the 5th on most wanted on Steam. And it's probably at this point going to be like 1 or 2. Like it's just, it's so strange how we've gotten to this point again where you would think you'd want this game to do well. You would think you want BioWare to come back to prominence. You would think you'd want Dragon Age to get that attention, get that love that other RPGs and CRPGs have been getting lately, right? You would think that you'd want us to be able to play a game that hasn't had a sequel in like over a decade and be like, oh my God, they nailed it. They brought it back, or it's even better than ever. Because that's good for gaming. Because then we get more Dragon Age. And hell, knowing industry trends, we'll get more like either turn-based RPGs like we're getting from, thanks to the success, I believe, of like Baldur's Gate 3 and, you know, what's happening with the Persona series and Metaphor Refantasio. We're going to get more developers want to do more turn-based stuff. You might get more developers want to do more like action RPG stuff like BioWare's doing. Like these are all good things. And yet, there's so many people out there who are just like, no, this is bad, this sucks, it's woke. Fucking Cabrutus, the guy who does the DEI detective, you know, the guy who's never played the games he plays. He is like, oh, the things I do for you guys, because I have to, I'm forced, I'm at gunpoint, I have to buy this game. I have to. How else am I going to know how much woke content's in if I don't buy the game? You didn't even buy God of War Ragnarok, the game that made you start the entirety of this DEI detective nonsense. You don't review games. You look at things and say, oh, is there anything I can call woke here? It is. All right, don't play it. That's why you recommended The Great Rebellion, a literal white supremacist game, because it was not only not woke, it was anti-woke. It was anti-DEI. It's a white supremacist game. Oh, but I have to, just like I said in my end of my video, they will act as if like they have to suffer through some of the best games to come out. Like, oh, you're making me play Metaphor Refantasio? Oh no. How dare you? Ugh, I have to play Alan Wake 2? Oh man. You're making me play Astrobot? Oh, the things I do for you guys. Meanwhile, I'm the one who suffers. Because I have to be aware of all you fuckers. The Grumses, the Vera Darks, the Cabrutuses, the Indie Mons. I have to be aware of that shit. Because I have to be vigilant against these grifters. Because we have to stay on their necks, which means I gotta stay on their neck. So I have to be aware. I actually suffer. And I ask for nothing in return. I don't ask you guys to donate to me. I don't ask you guys to subscribe. Well, I do ask you to subscribe, but I don't like tell you to subscribe. And if you subscribe, you don't lose money. I don't do any of that shit. Okay? I'm losing my goddamn mind because people want Dragon Age to do poorly so they can win a culture war. Not understanding if games do badly, especially the very, very, very big games, the ones that cost the most money to make or have a huge development cycle or huge development teams, right? If those games do bad, I want you to understand something, okay? And I'm being very serious, like I'm looking right at you. I want you to understand something. You watching this video. That doesn't get you what you want. If all these games that come out are all failures, and the only games that are successes are like the couple we get from Eastern developers. Again, Black Myth Wukong is like the first major game from China we've gotten that sold very, very well, 20 million a month. Stellar Blade, I think sold like 1 million a month, right? If we're only getting those games, it's not like the Western industry is gonna be like, oh, you know what, we're gonna shift and just copy everything Japan and China and Korea is doing. That's not what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen is you're going to get the same game over and over and over and over and over again, which talks about diversity. If we lose out on diversity, and I know for a lot of people, diversity is a dirty word. If we lose the diversity in gaming, we're gonna get the same shit over and over and over. You guys already complain how there's so much slop going around. Imagine if every single game's a gacha game. Imagine if every developer was like, fuck it, we're gonna go mobile because mobile should get the most money. No more consoles, we're gonna go mobile. No more PC games, we're gonna go mobile. Just make infinite money. Would you like that? No? Then stop hoping for every fucking game to fail. That's just insane. It's weird that I swear you guys were gamers. I swear you guys love video games. Yet you want the industry to fucking crash. In fact, a lot of you guys who are on the grifter side, who are definitely watching these videos, are saying that we're already in a gaming crash. No, we're not. We're not in a gaming crash. Now, are there problems with the gaming industry? Absolutely. And I spoke about them at length. But we are not in a crash. That's preposterous. I don't know why you guys want such bad things to happen in this space you claim to love. I want good things to happen in this space, which is why I talk about crunch and unfair practices and all that stuff, right? We want more successful games. More successful games from bigger studios also leads to, you know, more money being put in them, which also leads them to be able to make maybe smaller games. Smaller games can be made now. More interesting games can be made, right? They all feed into each other. But to want Dragon Age to fail is so insane to me. Especially because it's like the people who are giving the analysis are always wrong. They are always wrong. They have never been right. Grums has never been right about a goddamn thing. This is the guy who thought it was smart to spend $3 million on a giant sperm bus. He does not have good decision-making skills. Doesn't work on this game. Spends most of his time online talking about, I don't know, why would you want to be magically healed in a video? He's an idiot. Very dark. Always wrong. Indiamon. A goddamn liar. Like, all these people are wrong. Smash City, wrong and bad. Reality-based, whatever his fuck his name, the racist guy with the spirit tracker thing. All bad, all wrong. They have no analysis. That's why they just say shit and they move on. They're already backtracking. In fact, they were backtracking when they were most likely tracking the number for Dragon Age, the Veilguard. They already started their backtrack. First, it was this game's gonna be a flop. It's woke garbage. Then it became, well, I mean, it'll sell, but it won't sell well. Now it's, I always believed it would sell well. It just da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. These people should not be trusted. Do not go to the Park Place for a source. If you see anyone using that Park Place for a source, you know it's full of shit. You know it's full of shit, especially because that Park Place only references other grifting YouTubers. They reference literally no one else. I did a video on that. You guys should go watch if you don't believe me. They don't source anything properly. They don't do any sort of vetting. It's just, I heard through the grapevine that Dragon Age isn't doing well because my friend, Stuttering Craig, talked to his friend, who's a manager at a retail store, said that only 800 pre-orders were placed there. Yes, because pre-orders only happen in physical locations, not online, not through different storefronts, just the one place. Like, just don't, it's just this idiocy surrounding Dragon Age is just, it's insane. It is insane, but it's always going to be insane until we get these people out, till we get these guys out. You see them online and they're talking about how this game's going to be bad. Fucking get on their necks, dude. Ridicule them. Tell them they're wrong, because they're going to be wrong, because they don't know how to do any sort of analysis, because everything in their worldview is woke or not woke. There's no other factors at play. Nothing to do with the current market, the timing of the release, if that game itself is like oversaturated, are the mechanics out of date, is it a free to play, is it a battle royale, does it have a battle pass, or like nothing. There's nothing in their brain besides, is it woke or not? And if it's not woke, can I still call it woke and make money from it? Look, watch their videos if you want. You probably, at this point, they do have more followers than me, right? Watch their videos. See if they ever give you actual analysis, or is it just like, we see this is woke garbage because you can have chest scars in Dragon Age Inquisition, and I'm sorry, Dragon Age, I've been playing Inquisition, so it's stuck in my head. Chest scars in Dragon Age the Veilguard, and that's why the game's gonna be bad, because they're focusing too much on queer characters. And it's like, how do you make that leap from chest scars to just queer characters? Granted, that series has been gay the whole time, but how does that leap work? Do only queer people have chest scars? You guys do know women have mastectomy scars, right? Like that's a thing. That's not just people who transition. Like there's so many reasons why you might have that. And like, I thought scars were cool. Like it's weird. Like it's just a weird place. Like it. I want to get to a point where I don't have to make videos like these, but it feels like we are a long way away from that. So my eternal torment shall continue. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, all that stuff. Okay, bye.